Welcome to the deep dive, everybody. Today we're going kind of deep on Napoleon Hill,
Oh, yeah.
specifically his book Grow Rich with Peace of Mind. Now, this one was written when Hill was 84.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's later in his life, and we kind of see this fascinating shift from his earlier focus, on just financial success to something even more valuable.
Yeah.
Peace of mind. We've got a stack of Hill's writings here and some related stories to kind of unpack this whole thing.
It is quite a shift. It's fascinating that, Hill, the guy who's known for wealth creation, turns around and says, hey, peace of mind is actually more important than all of that. And he even, admits to some regrets about that relentless pursuit of success that he had earlier in life.
Yeah, and he actually uses this powerful analogy comparing the human mind to a castle.
Okay.
What do you make of these spiritual defenses he talks about?
Well, he really believed that just like a castle needs strong walls to protect it from invaders, our minds need defenses against negativity, against self-doubt. And he uses this metaphor to kind of explain how we can safeguard our inner peace.
So it's not just about achieving external success. It's about cultivating a kind of inner strength and resilience to protect ourselves.
It is about that, creating this inner sanctuary where you can, find refuge from the storms of life.
Yeah.
Even when things get really tough. He actually went so far as to unlist his phone number just to get some peace from constant calls.
I guess even the author of Think and Grow Rich needs a break now and then.
Yeah, exactly.
So how do we start building these mental fortresses? What are the building blocks?
Well, he really believed that it all starts with knowing your own mind.
Yeah.
Understanding your strengths, your weaknesses, your values, your beliefs. He says without this self-awareness, you're basically building your castle on shaky ground.
And he had a difficult childhood himself, right? I wonder if that played a role in shaping this belief.
Oh, absolutely. He often felt misunderstood and labeled as a problem child. But his stepmother, she saw potential in him, and instilled this belief in him that really changed the course of his life.
That's so powerful. It makes you realize how much impact just a single person's belief in you can have.
Oh, yeah.
On your life,
And Hill emphasizes this over and over again in his work. And it's actually what ultimately led him to interview hundreds of successful people, including Andrew Carnegie. He was fascinated by the power of belief and its role in achieving success.
And that brings us to one of Hill's kind of key concepts, which is success consciousness, which sounds a bit mystical.
Yeah.
But what did he actually mean by that?
Well, it's less about mysticism and more about, having that mindset geared towards achieving goals, like unwavering determination, the belief that you can overcome any obstacle.
Okay, so it's not just about dreaming big. It's about having the grit, the perseverance to actually make it happen.
Exactly. And he actually gives the example of Henry Ford.
Yeah.
To distribute his cars, he needed capital, right? But he didn't want to rely on bankers. So what he did was he ingeniously required distributors to pay a percentage of the purchase price.
Oh, interesting.
For their core quotas, like up front. So he essentially created his own funding system.
That's some serious resourcefulness.
Yeah.
He saw a problem and found a creative solution.
Exactly. And Hill really stresses that this success consciousness, it's not limited to historical figures. He talks about Merlin Mickelson, who started a multi-million-dollar memory core company with, get this, just $7.21. He had the vision to see the potential of this emerging computer age, and he just went for it.
Wow. These stories are great, but how did Hill himself put all this into practice? Did he,
Well, he had this knack for instilling success consciousness in others. Though there's a story in the book about this young, discouraged salesman he met. Hill he saw the potential in this guy. And, through conversations, encouragement, he helped him tap into his own inner drive. And that salesman ended up having a really thriving career selling cookware.
That's really interesting. So it's not just about self-belief. It's about recognizing that potential in others and helping them kind of find that and tap into it.
Exactly. And he goes on to even talk about Arnold Reed, who actually credited Think and Grow Rich with saving his life when he was really ill and feeling defeated. And that book it reignited his belief in himself, and he went on to found the very successful Great Commonwealth Life Insurance Company.
Wow. Okay. So that's pretty powerful. But Hill didn't just focus on achieving outward success, did he? He emphasized the importance of dealing with setbacks, of moving on from the past.
Oh, he really did. He called it closing the door on the past. Learn from your mistakes, he says, but don't let them define you.
And he had to put that into practice himself when, he lost his entire estate in the 1929 crash.
Right. And it's devastating. But he realized that dwelling on it would just bring him more pain.
Yeah.
So he made this conscious decision to move on and focus on rebuilding.
And he actually contrasts his own experience with the tragic fates of some of his friends who couldn't overcome their own financial losses.
Yes. And it's a stark reminder, that clinging to the past can be incredibly destructive. And Hill really believed that cultivating a mindset that's focused on solutions and possibilities rather than what's lost
right.
is so vital.
It makes you wonder what happened to those friends. Was it just their mindset that held them back, or were there other factors at play?
That's a good question. It's hard to know for sure. But Hill seems to suggest that their inability to let go of the past really played a significant role in their downfall. It's a reminder, that our mindset can have a profound impact on our ability to navigate those challenges and create a better future for ourselves.
So in a sense, closing the door on the past is an act of self-empowerment.
Absolutely. It's about taking control of your narrative,
Yeah.
Choosing to focus on what you can create rather than what you've lost.
Yeah.
It's recognizing that the past doesn't have to dictate your future.
Yeah, that's a powerful message. Okay, let's shift gears a bit.
Okay.
And talk about ethics. Hill was a big advocate for the golden rule, wasn't he?
He was. He believed that honest business practices and genuine service to others were essential for lasting success.
So it's not just about achieving your own goals, it's about doing it in a way that benefits others as well.
Exactly. And Hill even goes on to argue that dishonesty ultimately robs you of peace of mind.
Yeah.
He contrasted his own ethical approach with these less scrupulous individuals he met during his research. He encountered people who had achieved great financial success, but they seemed to lack inner peace and fulfillment. And some even faced legal troubles or social isolation because of those unethical actions.
That's fascinating. It seems like he's suggesting that true success is holistic.
Yeah.
It encompasses not just financial well-being, but also a sense of inner peace and ethical alignment.
You're right on the mark. And, this idea of ethical success, it's just as relevant today. Look at companies that prioritize employee well-being and customer satisfaction. They often see greater financial gains in the long run, and they make a much more positive impact on society.
It's like a ripple effect,
Yeah.
Ethical actions create these positive outcomes that extend beyond just the individual.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And Hill was a big believer in this ripple effect. He emphasized the importance of sharing your riches. And not just in a financial sense.
So it's about sharing your time, your knowledge, your kindness as well.
Exactly. Hill believed true wealth went beyond just money and included sharing these other forms of wealth. And he uses this example of Edward Choate, a successful insurance salesman who actually dedicated a significant amount of his time selling war bonds during World War II.
Oh, that's amazing. I wonder if that selfless service had any impact on his later success.
It did. Choate actually saw a boost in his insurance sales after the war.
Yeah.
People, they remembered his generosity and they wanted, to do business with him. It's another example of the law of compensation at work, which Hill references frequently, in his writing.
Yeah. So it's not just about doing good for its own sake. It's recognizing that acts of kindness and generosity can have, these unexpected positive consequences in our lives.
Exactly. Hill really believed that what you put out into the world comes back to you in one form or another. And, this idea of reciprocity is a recurring theme in his work.
I love that. So we've covered self-awareness, success consciousness, closing the door on the past, ethical conduct, sharing your riches, all really, really thought-provoking stuff. But what else did Hill have to say about building that inner sanctuary of peace of mind?
Well, next we need to talk about ego.
Yeah.
But not ego in the negative sense of the word.
Right.
Hill argues that a healthy ego is actually essential for success.
Now that's a little counterintuitive. Most of the time we think of ego as a negative trait, as something to be kept in check.
Right. But Hill, he distinguishes between, a healthy ego, which is rooted in self-worth and confidence, versus arrogance and narcissism.
So it's about believing in yourself and your abilities, but without letting it go to your head.
Exactly. And he offers these fascinating examples of how to identify and overcome factors that might be damaging to one's ego.
Like what? Give us an example.
Sure. He tells the story of this salesman whose fear of aging was actually hindering his performance. He felt past his prime, and that belief was impacting his sales. He even started using a walking stick, even though he didn't really need it.
Oh, yeah.
It's like he was playing the part of an old man.
So his own limiting beliefs were kind of creating a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Exactly. And Hill emphasizes how damaging this type of negative self-talk can be.
Yeah.
And he suggests, revisiting our childhoods
Okay.
to examine any experiences that might have led to feelings of inadequacy, or self-doubt. It's like, reprogramming those early beliefs that might be holding us back.
I think a lot of us can relate to that. We all have those inner voices sometimes that tell us we're not good enough, we're not capable of achieving our dreams.
Yeah. And Hill believed that those voices are often rooted in our past experiences. And he provides this list of questions in Grow Rich with Peace of Mind to help us reflect on our past and identify those patterns of negative self-perception.
So it's a process of self-discovery, like transformation.
It is. And Hill offers some practical tips for boosting our ego in the present moment. Things like dressing well, surrounding ourselves with positive people, and celebrating our accomplishments.
Yeah, I love that. It's like giving ourselves permission to feel good about ourselves and our achievements.
Precisely. And that confidence can have this ripple effect, impacting everything from our relationships to our overall sense of fulfillment.
This is all starting to connect for me now. So much of what we've discussed, knowing your mind, closing the door on the past, cultivating a healthy ego, it all ties into this idea of building a strong foundation for inner peace.
Exactly. You can't build a solid castle on shaky ground. And the same goes for peace of mind. It requires a solid foundation of self-awareness, self-belief, and resilience.
This has been really eye-opening so far. Are you ready to kind of dive into one of Hill's more controversial concepts?
Oh, bring it on.
All right, let's talk about this whole transmuting sexual energy thing.
Okay.
It's one of Hill's more unconventional concepts, and I'll admit it definitely caught my attention when I was reading through the book.
It's definitely one that raises eyebrows.
Why?
But if you look at it through the lens of Hill's overall philosophy,
Right.
it starts to make a little bit more sense.
Okay, so walk me through it. What exactly did he mean by this?
Well, he believed that, that energy that we often associate with physical desire, it could be harnessed, and redirected towards other pursuits. He saw it as this powerful force that could drive creativity, ambition, and ultimately success.
It's like taking that raw energy and channeling it into something productive rather than just letting it control you.
Exactly. He believed this transmutation was key to unlocking our full potential. It's not about, suppressing or denying this natural energy, but understanding it and consciously directing it, towards our goals.
And he even gives the example of a salesman who, despite his rather unkempt appearance, managed to secure a large advertising order simply through the power of his personality.
That's right. And Hill actually attributed the salesman's success to his ability to transmute that sexual energy into, charisma and magnetism. He was able to connect with people on a deeper level and persuade them through sheer force of personality.
It's interesting because, we often think of charisma as something you're either born with or you're not. But Hill seems to be suggesting that it's something that can be cultivated.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the most empowering aspects of his philosophy. He believed that we have more control over our destinies than we often realize.
And it's not just about salesmanship, right? I mean, Hill points to figures like Billy Sunday, the famous evangelist, and Arthur Rubinstein, the renowned pianist. What do you think he saw in them?
Well, he saw individuals who were able to harness this energy, this power within, and channel it into their respective fields. Whether it was, captivating audiences with their sermons or delivering, these virtuoso musical performances. Hill believed this transmuted energy was a driving force behind their success.
Okay, so this concept might seem a bit abstract or even controversial to some, but I think it speaks to Hill's kind of holistic view of success. It's about understanding ourselves on a deeper level,
Yeah.
both physically and mentally, and harnessing all of our resources to achieve our goals.
I completely agree. It's about recognizing the interconnectedness of our physical, mental, and emotional well-being, and how they all contribute to our overall success and fulfillment.
Okay. Let's move on to something a little more concrete. One of the most, I think, practical aspects of Hill's philosophy is his emphasis on the mastermind principle. What's the core idea behind that?
Well, the mastermind principle is all about the power of collaboration,
Hmm.
of collective intelligence.
Yeah.
Hill, he believed that, by forming these groups of like-minded individuals, we could leverage each other's strengths, overcome challenges more effectively, and achieve greater success than we could on our own.
Yeah. It's like the old saying, two heads are better than one, taken to a whole new level.
Exactly. It's about creating this synergistic environment where, ideas can flow freely, and everyone benefits from the shared knowledge and experience. He believed in the power of collective wisdom and mutual support.
Hmm. Did Hill offer any practical advice on how to form and maintain these mastermind groups?
He did. He stressed the importance of choosing compatible members, people who share similar goals and values. And he also emphasized the need for clear objectives, regular meetings, and importantly, confidentiality. It's about creating this safe and supportive space where members can share ideas, challenges, aspirations freely.
He even suggests a personal problem clinic as a potential group activity. What would that involve?
It's a really interesting concept. The idea is that group members would offer, their expertise and insights to help each other overcome personal challenges. He saw this as a way to, provide practical support and create a sense of shared responsibility for each other's well-being.
I love that. It's like taking the mastermind principle and applying it to real life problem solving.
Exactly. And Hill, he believed that these mastermind groups could have this ripple effect, extending beyond the individual members and positively impacting the wider community. Imagine the potential for positive change if we all had this supportive network of like-minded individuals to help us navigate, life's challenges.
It's really making me rethink my own approach to personal and professional development. We've talked about so much already, belief, ego, collaboration, ethics, and it all seems to point back to this overarching goal of achieving peace of mind.
That's right. Peace of mind is the ultimate goal. It's the foundation for a truly successful and fulfilling life. Yeah. But in today's fast-paced world, it can feel incredibly elusive.
So what did Hill have to say about achieving this elusive peace of mind amidst the chaos of modern life?
Well, Hill was a big advocate for simplifying our lives. He believed that we often complicate things unnecessarily, and we create this unnecessary stress for ourselves.
Right.
And he encouraged people to prioritize what truly matters.
Right.
And let go of the things that drain our energy and create anxiety.
It's like decluttering your mind,
Yeah.
as well as your physical space.
Exactly. It's about creating a sense of order and tranquility in both your inner and outer world.
But it's not just about stripping things away, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Hill also talked about the importance of focusing on what we can control and finding ways to contribute to something larger than ourselves.
That's right. He believed that, helping others was one of the most powerful ways to shift our focus away from our own worries and connect with something more meaningful. It's about recognizing that we're all interconnected and that our actions have the power to make a difference in the lives of others.
It's like that saying, the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others.
Exactly.
So,
Hill believed that this outward focus could have this profound impact on our inner peace. He actually tells this really heartwarming story about a lawyer who overheard a prayer, and it led him to show compassion and forgiveness in a property dispute. And it's just this beautiful example of how shifting our perspective and focusing on kindness
right.
can have this transformative effect on ourselves and those around us.
That reminds me of something else that that Hill emphasized, which is the importance of gratitude.
Absolutely. He saw gratitude as this powerful antidote to worry and negativity. It's
Yeah.
about, choosing to focus on the good, even when, things are tough. It's this conscious decision to appreciate, the blessings in our lives, big and small.
Yeah, it's easy to get caught up in the things that are going wrong, especially when the world feels so chaotic. But I think there's a lot of truth in the idea that, what you focus on expands.
Yeah.
If you're constantly dwelling on the negative, it's going to kind of color your entire perception of reality.
Hill would agree with you there. He believed that cultivating a grateful mindset could really significantly impact our overall sense of well-being and peace of mind.
Okay, so we've talked about simplifying our lives, helping others, and cultivating gratitude. What else did Hill suggest for kind of finding those moments of peace?
Well, he also emphasized the importance of finding joy in the simple things.
Yeah.
He believed that true happiness wasn't about, chasing grand adventures or accumulating material possession.
Yeah.
But about appreciating the everyday moments, finding beauty in the ordinary.
It's like choosing to see the world through a lens of wonder and appreciation, rather than just taking things for granted.
Exactly. And he even shared his own personal experience of finding joy in something as simple as playing with his dogs. He understood that peace of mind isn't a destination, it's a way of being.
It's about cultivating a mindset that allows us to find those moments of joy and contentment amidst all the ups and downs of life. So much of Hill's advice seems to center around this idea of perspective.
He was a big believer in the power of perspective. And that leads us to another profound concept that he explored, the idea that you are very important for a little while.
Now that's an intriguing phrase. What did he mean by that?
Well, he was emphasizing the importance of maintaining humility and perspective. It's a reminder that our time here is precious, and that we should make the most of it without getting caught up in ego or material pursuits. It's about recognizing the transient nature of life and focusing on what truly matters, living authentically, contributing to something larger than ourselves, and leaving the world a better place than we found it.
It's a powerful reminder that our lives have meaning, they have purpose, but that we're also, part of something much, much bigger than ourselves. It's about recognizing the delicate balance between our individual journeys and the collective human experience.
That's beautifully said. I think it really captures the essence of Hill's message.
I agree. It's a lot to take in, but I'm feeling really inspired by these ideas. Are you ready to kind of wrap things up and share some final thoughts with our listeners?
Absolutely. I think Hill has given us a lot to ponder.
As we wrap up our deep dive into Napoleon Hill's Grow Rich with Peace of Mind, I'm struck by how interconnected all of his ideas are.
Yeah, it's like a puzzle, isn't it?
Right.
Each piece kind of fits together to create this bigger picture of what it truly means to live a successful and fulfilling life.
Exactly. We started by talking about building those spiritual defenses, that inner sanctuary of peace, and it seems like everything we've discussed since then. Self-awareness, cultivating a healthy ego, closing the door on the past. It all kind of contributes to that foundation.
It's like Hill is giving us this blueprint for constructing a life that's both resilient and meaningful.
Yeah.
He's not just talking about achieving financial wealth, but about building a life that's rich in every sense of the word.
Yeah, and it all starts with the power of thought, doesn't it? Hill was a firm believer that our thoughts create our reality.
He absolutely was. And he offers so many examples in his book of people who achieve these extraordinary things simply by harnessing the power of their minds. Look at Henry Ford revolutionizing the automobile industry, or Merlin Mickelson building a multi-million-dollar company from a small investment. Hill saw this potential in everyone, regardless of background or circumstance.
So it's not about some innate talent or privilege, but about cultivating the right mindset and believing in your ability to achieve your dreams.
That's the essence of his success consciousness concept.
Yeah.
It's about developing that unwavering determination and the belief that you can overcome any obstacle. It's like a mental muscle that we can strengthen through practice and perseverance.
I love that analogy. The more we exercise that muscle, the more capable we become of achieving our goals and creating the lives we desire.
Exactly. And as we achieve those goals, it further reinforces our belief in ourselves, creating this positive feedback loop.
It's like a snowball effect. Success breeds confidence,
Right.
which leads to further success. And Hill provides this roadmap, not just for achieving financial success, but also for cultivating that deep sense of inner peace and fulfillment that we've been talking about.
Right.
It's about finding that balance between outward achievement and inner harmony. It's about living a life that's both successful and meaningful. As we kind of wrap up this deep dive, what would you say is the most important message for our listeners to take away?
Well, I think that the most important message is this.
Yeah.
You have the power within you to create the life you want. It starts with believing in yourself, cultivating a positive mindset, and taking consistent action toward your goals.
And don't forget the importance of finding peace of mind along the way, embracing the present moment, simplifying your life, and connecting with something larger than yourself.
Absolutely. And remember Hill's wise words. You are very important for a little while. Make the most of your time here, by living with purpose, meaning, and a commitment to making the world a better place.
Beautifully said. Those are powerful words to carry with us.
They are, and they serve as this guiding light, on our own journeys towards success, happiness, and peace of mind.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the wisdom of Napoleon Hill. We hope you found these insights inspiring and empowering.
We encourage you to, continue exploring Hill's work and apply these principles to your own life.
Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep striving for that elusive peace of mind.